After a couple of years waiting now, Alice in Borderland is set to return to our screens in just over 2 months. With Netflix dropping a trailer out of the blue last night, I gave it a watch, and honestly, I can't wait to see how this story's going to conclude. With Squid Game being a very similar show in the sense that the players go through games in order to survive, but Alice in Borderland probably having a much more complex and engaging story. I'm hoping that the ending is going to go out with a real bang, and judging by the preview, it looks like it will. So with that, I wanted to break down the key features from the trailer, discuss the new games, my thoughts on the Joker, and also give my theories and predictions on what I think could happen. Here is Alice in Borderlands Season 3, trailer explained and theories. Just to let you know, this video will contain spoilers. The synopsis. The synopsis for Season 3 was shared in the description on the YouTube video for the trailer, and it's as follows. In the previous season, Arisu and Usagi cleared all of the games and returned to the real world. They've since gotten married and established a happy life together. Their memories of the Borderland were erased, but they see glimpses of it in dreams and hallucinations. One day, Usagi, led by afterlife researcher Ryuji, suddenly vanishes. At the same time as Usagi's disappearance, Banda hands Arisu the final card, the Joker. The uncharted journey led by the mysterious Joker card is about to unfold. Now, this is some serious stuff, and it's led me to theorize about 2 different directions that the show could go in. The first is that Arisu and Usagi weren't actually sent back to the real world. It just mirrored it, and they were made to believe that they were there, and they instead awoke inside a different layer of the Borderland, which is the Joker card. Jokers are known to be tricksters, and the harshest trick of them all would be allowing them to believe that they awoke in the real world. But the small glimpses of being trapped in the games would be the hint to the fact that they're actually still there. Meaning that they'd have to complete the game in order to return to the real world. Or the second version could be that they did actually return to the real world. They fell in love and got married, and then another accident could happen which could mean that Usagi was left in a critical condition, and it could mean that she ended up back inside purgatory, and she fell back into the games where the Joker card was handed to her, and she now needed to complete it. We did see that Arisu was reunited with Usagi as he was holding her hand whilst she was in hospital, so I think he'll find her, and from there he'll then make his decision on what to do. This is then where I feel like Arisu might well go to a doctor and get put into some kind of state where he's both alive and dead at the same time, and that will allow him to go back to the Borderland, and he may then participate in the game and help to save his wife. We saw the sheer amount of care that he had for her throughout the entirety of the show, but we saw it the most in the Season 2 finale. So this is the route that I actually think the show might go down, the both of them ending back up there after tragic circumstances hit their life again. There was a line of dialogue in the trailer which was spoken, and it was, "Human emotions are invisible threads. Tug on them and they always respond." I think this is reflective about how Arisu is having these dreams and hallucinations in reality when walking through the world, and he's seeing scenes from the Borderland, and even though his memory was wiped, the way that he felt and the things that he experienced are still coming back to him. So I think with him potentially leaning into what he was experiencing and trying to remember that, it could jolt his memory and make it all come back to him. He'll be pulling on these invisible threads that will remind him of what happened, which will allow him to come to his senses on what to do in order to save Usagi. He also said that he didn't care if he died, as long as it meant that there was a chance that he could save her. So even though the in-between state that he could be put in might end up being dangerous for him, he won't care, because he cares more about the woman that he loves rather than living without her. So Arisu will most likely be re-entering and doing his best to save his wife, no matter what danger he gets put in. The games in Season 3. Whilst the Joker card is the final card that's going to be played, it definitely seems like there could be some more cards that will feature within Season 3, as during the trailer there was a wide array of different games that looked like they were being played, and some looked absolutely brutal. There was even a zombie card and a shotgun card, so I'm intrigued to see how that's going to tie into it, but I'll get to that. One of the first games that we saw in the trailer was called Good Fortune, Bad Fortune, and it was the original 3 of Clubs game that was left out of the Netflix series in Season 1. Within this game, players in the street had to draw fortunes that told them the difficulty of the question that they were set to answer. If a player didn't get the answer to the question right, then a flaming arrow would be fired towards them from afar. The aim of the game is to essentially find the right way to get out of the location before everybody ends up being killed by the flaming arrows. Many of the answers are numerical, and as well as that, there are hints where players can work out where the arrows might end up coming from. This is going to be a game where I imagine many people will end up dying, but it's one that I think will be interesting to follow as it looks like it's going to be on a large scale. It also looks like there's going to be another Spades card game that gets chosen, one that's focused on physical strength and endurance. This is the game that seemed to incorporate the lasers that the players had to try and avoid and jump over and duck under, as it looked like they were constantly going after them. This is one that genuinely looks so difficult, but I'm going to guess that there's going to be a timer there and they'll have to avoid the lasers for a certain amount of time. There was a scene where it looked like Arisu was being killed due to losing a game, but the visuals in the scene were deliberately blurry, which makes me think that this is some kind of dream or a trick that the Joker's playing. The games are never usually straightforward, but in this final season, with the Joker being present and at the heart of it, I feel like there are going to be more twists and turns. When it comes to the zombie card and the shotgun card that we saw in the trailer, I think this could either symbolize a game or a prop. A game which could be similar to the alien invasion game in the manga, where players have to survive the invasions. Maybe in the show they switched it up and used zombies instead. This could be the game where we see a load of people dying from it, and it's seeming like chaos was unfolding within the trailer. Or it could almost be like a prop. For example, maybe finding these cards allow you to have what it holds. Could a zombie card mean that you transform into that instead of dying, and that's what we see with this lady here? Potential immunity for the round. Or could it mean that a player has the ability to bring somebody back from the dead after they've died, but they return in a different form? A shotgun is relatively easy to explain, as maybe that could just spawn in and you get it. So the introduction of these cards is something that I'm excited to see, because it could change things up completely. One other game that we saw being present in the trailer was one with 4 different colored dice. I tried to find a Japanese game that had different colored dice and used 4, but there wasn't anything that I could truly find. The closest Japanese dice game that I could find was Chohan, which was centered around players guessing if the dice would be odd or even, Cho and Han. So I wonder if this could be a modern take on that. Who is the Joker? The Joker is a character that's being teased to us now, and throughout the trailer there are many different people that it could be. However, it seems like it could potentially be this person that appeared a countless amount of times, and also towards the end when it seemed like Arisu had made it to the end of the road and was standing face to face with the decision maker. The Joker is this ominous figure in the show that we don't truly know anything about. However, it is said that he's considered to be the ferryman, who's the ruler of the Borderland. He was described as being like Charon in Greek mythology and being the person that's known for carrying the souls of the dead into the afterlife. Hence why he'd be considered to be the ruler of Borderland, because that's technically what he's doing by killing them off in the game and giving them the opportunity to make it to the end, which would allow them to return to the world of the living. I'm imagining that the Joker is going to be among them in this season of the show, because I feel like there could be this personal connection that we'll watch unfolding between Arisu and the Joker, but he won't know that it's him. I reckon the Joker can take on whatever form they want, and when Arisu comes face to face with them, it'll be an epic and emotional moment. The release of this trailer has genuinely got me so excited for the final season of the show, and I can't wait to see how it's going to end. It's got a lot to live up to because the first 2 seasons are genuinely so strong. But with knowing just how good the show has been over the years, I don't doubt that they're going to do a stellar job and land the ending, because that season 2 finale was incredible. So, there you have it, Alice in Borderlands Season 3 trailer explained and theories. If you want to see a full breakdown of Season 2, then check the video below. I've also got another video where I shared a load of theories for what I think could happen in the 3rd season. What do you think will happen? Share your thoughts in the comments. As always, thanks for tuning into the video, and I'll see you in the next one.